What's up, world? This your boy Tommy Mal, and I just wanted to come and do a quick video on the Russell Westbrook to the Lakers rumor slash truth slash who gives it shit. I'm happy as hell. Um, People were saying, I've said, and I don't know if I mentioned it in my last video, but I've been having discussions with people for the last week or so, and I've said the same thing over and over again. I think Russell Westbrook for the Lakers is amazing. I don't get why people don't understand why it would fit. Um, Before last year, I was a little skeptical about him fitting. And then towards the middle of last year, I was like, he would be a real good fit for the Lakers. Because people don't get, like, everybody keeps saying LeBron James needs a spot up shooter. He needs a guy who can shoot to complement him. But I never was a believer really in that wholeheartedly. I believe that it was one or two things. He needed either a person who could do what D Wade did for him when he was in Miami. See, I'm a Miami Heat fan for people who don't know. So when I used to watch, I watched all the Heat games. So a lot of people try to think that they forget how LeBron and D Wade worked, because everybody was like, "Oh, two people, they both were ball dominant. You can't share the ball." They both were still ball dominant. They just became extensions of each other, because they both were cutters, they both were slashers, they both were uber athletic, so they used, and they both were smart. I think Russell Westbrook is that same type of player. I think he's smart, he's athletic, and he's a queen player. He can do so many different things. And LeBron James loves people who can do multiple things, because it allows him to do multiple things. Now you got a guy, Anthony Davis, who's extremely versatile. And you got a guy in LeBron James who's extremely versatile. And you have a guy in Russell Westbrook who is extremely versatile. Now, everybody keeps trying to point out that, well, Russell Westbrook's efficiency is bound. He's turnover prone. Anybody, that's a great take for someone who does not understand basketball, okay? That is completely different when you're dealing with a guy with a defense that is guarding LeBron James. See, LeBron James makes you be honest on defense, because you have to pay attention to the entire court when LeBron James has the ball, because he will find a post-up shooter, he will find somebody else, he will find a slasher. And when a guy like Russell Westbrook, you're not going to be able to guard him one-on-one. You're not going to be able to guard Anthony Davis one-on-one, and you're damn sure not going to be able to guard LeBron one-on-one. If they leave Drummond's going to be free to get all the rebounds he wants, because they're going to have defense running all over the place. So I think it's and I'm just blown away, because I never thought I would see it. Those are my two favorite players: LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. After that is Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, right? But my two favorite players to watch are LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. So to put them on the same team is just amazing. I know I'm probably not even the only person who thinks like that. Everybody loves to watch Russell Westbrook play. And if you're a Laker fan, you got to be beyond ecstatic. I mean, to watch the show that these guys are going to put on together with that athleticism along with Anthony Davis. And people keep saying, well, they got rid of KCP and they got rid of Kyle Kuzma. I think they can sign, if they can put THT, they can work THT. It was a mashup at that spot. I think freeing up KCP and Kyle Kuzma allows them to use Caruso and THT more often. I think it can push Caruso into the starting lineup, even if they don't, you know what I'm saying, find another guy in free agency. A guy like Caruso, I think, can start at the 2. With Russell Westbrook at 1, him at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Anthony Davis at the 4, and Drummond at the 5, I think will be a formidable 5. I think Drummond is going to give Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are gonna make Andre Drummond invaluable. He's gonna be unstoppable. When you got two guys that can attack the rim like those two can, it's going to be real hard to stay in front of. LeBron James is almost impossible to stay in front of, and even more impossible if you don't have somebody waiting on him. Then you got Russell Westbrook who's going to be slashing and cutting. You got Anthony Davis who's going to be slashing and cutting. These guys are going to be moving, and it's going to be beautiful because they're going to be moving and moving and moving and moving, and it's going to be like trying to play play cornerback with all these cuts and stuff they're going to be doing. You got a guy like Caruso who can shoot the three. You got another guy like TH2 who can come off the bench and also step in and play as a backup point guard. And I think with a guy like Drummond there, he's going to be with Russell Westbrook. It loves guys like that. And you get Russell Westbrook at the point, it's going to allow LeBron James to come off the point and be more free to just move around and get in the box when he wants to, just get in the mid-range when he wants to. And you cannot double him. Because if you try to double him, he's going to kick it to AD. And the most beautiful thing that I love about this is the sweet redemption. Right? To see what Kevin Durant did to Russell Westbrook, and for so long, I wanted Westbrook to get back. I wanted Westbrook, because Westbrook has taken such a beating over the last 3 seasons. I mean, 3 or 4 seasons since Durant left, and it's so redeeming to have him have a team that is in the championship contention, and he's there as a pivotal piece in it. And could you imagine the amazing game it would be? Now, with Harden, you got the 3 guys who used to be, I mean, just, you can't write this stuff, right? I mean, NBA is just amazing to me in that regard. The storylines in the NBA are crazy, right? You take these 3 guys who are on the same team, Durant, Harden, Westbrook, right? You take Westbrook, and and Harden first left. Westbrook hated that, right? Because him and Westbrook and Harden were closer than Durant and Westbrook. People don't know that Harden and Westbrook known each other since they were kids. So Harden ended up leaving, and Westbrook didn't like that, but they didn't want to pay Harden, so he lost Harden. There was no bad blood, but in the end, Westbrook ended up going to play with KD, and when he went to play with KD, he started playing with KD, and then when he started playing with KD, they was at the precipice, and then KD left him high and dry and basically left him to take a beating, right? People are burying this guy. He'll never win a championship, and I'm sick and tired of him winning all of this. And then now this guy gets put with Anthony Davis and LeBron James to go up against the top contender. Probably will be Kyrie Irving, who did the same thing to LeBron. Think about that. Kyrie Irving did the same thing to LeBron. He left LeBron high and dry, and he ended up having to take on the Warriors by himself because Kyrie skid out on him. So you got the 2 guys who left, the 2 players that are now on the same team high and dry. Could you imagine that final story? Westbrook, KD, Kyrie, and KD, Kyrie, and Harden versus Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. That's some crazy shit. Like, I mean, to think about how that is just figured its way out. Kyrie Irving, who said he didn't want to play with LeBron James, but chose Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, who didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook, but chose Kyrie. And then for them to go and have to play each other. Westbrook has wanted to get back at Kevin Durant for so long. It's like the greatest. That's what I love about the NBA. It's the stories. Because it's a player-driven league, so there is always animus. And you can't tell me that LeBron James didn't try to. This wasn't like this. This to me seemed like it was LeBron James. I saw Kevin Durant. Go watch those 2 games against the Washington Wizards last year. Kevin Durant can't stop Westbrook. Kyrie Irving can't stop Westbrook. Westbrook can stop them. They can't stop him. And it's crazy to put him To see how he was hounding them by himself when it was just him. Even in the game where Bradley Beal didn't even play. Westbrook by himself. If you watch that game and watch how he played them and how they were just flummoxed at how to stop this guy. When Westbrook turns it on, he is crazy. When LeBron turns it on, he is crazy. When AD is on, he is crazy. Durant, same thing. Kyrie, same thing. Harden, same thing. So now, this is what I've been waiting for. This is kismet, man. It's almost... But the question is LeBron going to come back LeBron? If LeBron comes back LeBron, then I want to see it. If LeBron comes back the below the rim guy who couldn't take people off the dribble before the season ended, then I'm gonna have to wait and see until he comes around to shape. But right now, Westbrook is gonna be such a help for the Lakers. One, he's not injury prone. He's an Iron Man. He plays almost every game, and he plays every game hard. LeBron is like that too. So AD, is in and out of the lineup. Drummond, for the most part, tends to stay healthy. Westbrook tends to stay healthy. LeBron, so they'll have at least a good core of that team. And you'll have, like I said, THT, Caruso, whoever you want to put in that place. I think in free agency they can still pick up some guys. Dwight Howard can come back. They can try to go get him back. They can try to go get McGee. He's going to be a free agent. They can try to bring him back to back up Drummond, which I think would really help because I think that's what they missed last year. Or they can bring Marc Gasol back, which, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. But if they choose to do that, then that'll be fine. I just think Marc Gasol doesn't really fit in the dynamic well. He's a great defensive player, but his days are behind him. He's a smart player, and I think he works better off coaching. But no, I really wouldn't peg him there in that spot. I think they need someone like McGee or Howard back. I would try to get Dwight Howard back, but I think he signed a 2-year deal, if I'm not sure, so he might be still under contract with the 76ers. But McGee should be out there, or any of these. There's a lot of guys out there, and I think they still can get a guy like DeMar DeRozan. I mean, and if they get a guy like DeMar DeRozan, I think it would still be pretty equal between him and Joe Harris. But DeMar DeRozan, you have all these slashers. I don't know how well that'll work. I think LeBron and Westbrook can work because LeBron's such a smart player. You know what I'm saying? LeBron played with D Wade. He understands how to play with attacker with the attack of the rim. I remember when they played in the finals the first time. I remember thinking this is like a carbon copy of each other. It was like KD, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Westbrook. Only difference was Harden and Bosh, and this is kind of different. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like a repeat of then, except Westbrook is mild, Dwayne Wade, and you still got Harden, Kyrie, and but instead of the big, Harden was the shorter one, and you had Bosh. Now you got Anthony Davis, who's 10 times Bosh. So, and Harden, who's 10 times what he used to be. So, it's a crazy, crazy winding road that ends up. I mean, if you would have said back then that LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook would be playing Harden, Kyrie, and KD, like, how the hell does that make any sense? But that's crazy how things work out. And if it does go through, I am beyond ecstatic about this. I think them going against the Nets will be a crazy series. The passion, the storylines, KD. I mean, can you imagine when they play? Because inevitably they're going to play on Christmas Day. Westbrook, KD, LeBron, Kyrie. I mean that is going to be a crazy game. I mean, can you imagine the craziness of that game and the hype that's going to surround that game with these two teams that probably literally hate each other, right? They have so much bad blood between them, between the Nets and the Lakers, right? Like, before I was like, this is not really a rivalry. but if you look at it now, it's like it probably will be one of the more intense rivalries for the next 2 or 3 years. Which to me is, as a fan, is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be so awesome. You know what I'm saying? I hope they do something with Bradley Beal. I don't want to see him on the Wizards. If they put him on the Golden State Warriors, then I'll be even more ecstatic. That'll be another team, you know, with them, and then them going in it. I already think the Heat gonna be a better team with Victor Oladipo than they, you know, with a healthy Jimmy Butler and Victor Oladipo. You know what I'm saying? The Bucks, you know, coming back, going against the Nets. So it's gonna be a lot of great teams, man. A lot of great storylines, and this just, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I cannot wait until the season starts to see Russell Westbrook and LeBron playing on the same team. That is crazy. That's what I love about the NBA. The NFL, I don't give two shits anymore. I grew up a football fan, Division I football player. Love football. But I just, I loved football. I just can't watch it anymore. I don't give two craps about what happens in football ever. Because half of the time it's just boring. You know what I'm saying? All this, they tried to make the most boring position in sports an exciting position. Michael Vick was its peak, right? The quarterbacks. Joe Montana was an athlete, a talented player. Rules weren't set up for him to succeed. He was just great, right? Dan Marino, just great. Troy Aikman talks a lot of shit, but he sucked. You know, this guy throwing for 190 yards. Like Troy Aikman is the most overrated quarterback. People love bringing him up too. But they won Super Bowl, but that was because of Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. I mean, he always try to throw himself in the Steve Young, Joe Montana, them discussion. You ain't on their level. Like you same thing with Terry Bradshaw. You guys played in an all-star team. You didn't win. You wasn't no great quarterback. You could have put anybody at quarterback. Matter of fact, the Steelers, the year that Terry Bradshaw, and they always the rednecks talking all the junk like they were so great. That's beside the point. But you know, it was great back then. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the talent. But now it's like Michael Vick hit his peak and they got scared, right? They got scared because of what Allen Iverson did to basketball. Michael Vick tried to do that with football. They got scared because Michael Vick was when everybody started. All these super athletic guys started to migrate from playing wide receiver and running back and cornerback and started playing quarterback, right? So now you want to get these athletes, but these athletes don't want to change positions. They want to stay playing quarterback. So now you got a problem because you want the athlete, but you just don't want them as a quarterback. So colleges started to bring these guys in, and you started to see more of this stuff where it started to be everybody was trying to find the next Michael Vick. All of a sudden he got his drug charge. They switched all the rules up so that so that basically you could play. If you're a quarterback, you can play till you're 50. Right? That's the reason why Tom Brady can still play till he's 50. It's because he can't be touched. They can't. They made it so wide cornerbacks are basically playing with two hands tied behind their back. Safeties can't hit the receiver, so they're running all types of crossing routes across the middle because they can't get hit. So the entire NFL has been curbed so that guys who are mediocre talents can look like they're great. Well, a guy like Kirk Cousins can throw for 5,000 yards. Somebody tell me that's Kirk Cousins throwing for 5,000 yards a year. It's not about talent anymore. It's just about getting a line that can hold. If the line keeps you blocked for 5 seconds, you're gonna complete the pass because there's nothing the cornerbacks can do after the initial 3 or 4. If their pass rush doesn't get to the quarterback, he can just sit back there all day, and sooner or later somebody's gonna come open. And it's because of the rules, not because the quarterbacks are uber talented. Tom Brady was uber talented. Then all of a sudden, he was more of a game manager at the time. But you go back to the time with Randy Moss, he was a great quarterback. But Tom Brady is, to me, like he was a game manager, but he was great because they didn't really give him much talent to work with. You know what I'm saying? And I always love Brady. I used to always love him over Manning because I felt like Manning, every year they drafted a first round wide receiver for Peyton Manning. They never did that for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was still winning. So I always had the utmost respect for Tom Brady. But now he's 45, and 90% of the time he's only good because they can't. He understands the game well enough to understand blitzing packages. He understands the blitzing package. They can't get to him, and if they can't get to him in under 3 seconds, somebody's gonna get open. When you got Antonio Brown, Mike Goodwin, Mike, the tall guy, I forgot his name. All these, he got about 5 receivers, all-star receivers, and 2 all-star tight ends. So somebody's gonna get open. So at this point, you just sitting there like, man, this ain't even. I'm not watching the greatness of Tom Brady. I'm watching a freaking sport that's curved so Tom Brady can do good, and I don't want to watch it. That storylines are boring as hell. Like, what is the storyline for the NFL coming out? What's got people excited about watching the NFL? Being honest. Who's excited about watching what? Tom Brady, a 50-year-old, go out and win MVP? Like, what is the storyline? Because anytime there's a black quarterback, all they do is bash him. They find some way to tarnish him so that he's never the face of the league, because they're afraid that if black quarterbacks become the face of the league, all of a sudden the racist dickheads that they don't sold their soul to will stop watching it like they did the NBA. But unlike them, the NBA is not under no. The NBA doesn't have to kowtow to anybody. And they can say they're social justice warriors all they want, but that's their decision to be. Right? That's their decision to be. The players make that decision. The NFL, the players makes no decisions. It's all about the owners, and the owners are racist and old as hell. And all of them are afraid of a black quarterback, afraid of a black superstar. So if a black superstar tries to add anything to it, they find ways to tarnish him through the media. All of a sudden, these owners are leaking out shit about the guy behind the scenes so that people can attack him. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden, all this junk is coming to the forefront. So they demonize the wide receivers. They demonize every player that isn't a quarterback that starts to get any type of attention. And then all of a sudden, now you just turn it to a boring game. And that's what they keep doing. And they keep relying on the fact that this is the same racist people. And it's the same thing Major League Baseball did. And guess what happened? They're dying. The reason why they're dying is because you cannot just rely on that same racist fan base that was around in the 60s. And the NFL wants to rely on those same short-sighted, conservative, stubborn people that don't want anything to do with anything in their stuff. But they're still trying to slightly cater to the new liberal generation, and they're left in the flux because they don't really agree with the new liberal generation. They're just doing stuff, but in the same breath, they're doing other stuff. So the new generation don't trust them, and the old generation don't trust them. So it's boring to watch. The NBA is always cutting edge. It's always changing. It's always creating these amazing storylines. It's always pulling you in. Their free agency, their draft, all that stuff is about getting people to care about their sports, and people always do. Every year, every summer, it's just a mix-up. It's a scramble. A team that was a nothing one year, the Suns went from the bottom of the league that year, last year, bam. They're in the NBA Finals. Giannis, even when they look at all their stars, end up getting injured at the beginning of the playoffs. Ratings went up because even when one went down, they had a storyline for the next one. He went down, storyline for the next one. He went down, storyline for the next one. The NFL had the same boring ass storyline since 1996. Who's the top quarterback in the league? Can the quarterback lead them to a championship? Quarterback ain't did shit. He threw 108 yards, but they talk about him. Oh, well, he knows how to win. He don't know how to do shit but play quarterback. You might want to give credit to those. We gotta sit here and talk about Eli Manning after freaking Jason Strand. Jason Strand going out getting 3 sacks a game. We talking about freaking Eli Manning. Same boring storyline since '96. Who's the best quarterback in the league? The only thing that matters is the quarterback. The only thing we talk about is the quarterback. The only thing we focus on is the quarterback because it's the one dominant position that white people play. So let's focus on that. Instead of us trying to find storylines outside of that. Or who's the next great black quarterback that everybody doubts, and then we're going to find a way to say he sucks even when he does good. Like, can we find some different storylines that are not revolving around the quarterback position all the time? It's like, it's so boring to watch. Like I said, I don't know what I'm watching it for 90% of the time. It's just boring. And there's people who watch it because they're, like I said, they're conservative and they're ritualistic. They always watch football, so they watch football. I watch football. I watch football all the time. But I'm always one to watch guys that storylines. I like to watch. The most captivating thing for me last year was the Patriots and Cam Newton. When they started losing, I stopped watching it really. Lamar Jackson was a story the year before that. But even he was on his trajectory. He did good. We got in the playoffs. They were so woefully unfair to the guy after one bad game. I just didn't want to really watch it no more. so it's the little pull you get is them finding a way to try to find ways to say that this white quarterback is great, who does shit. Stand back and throw 5-yard slants up and down the field. And a bomb once every 3 quarters. If that. It's like, it's no excitement there. I'm used to watching Barry Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Emmitt Smith. The running back position used to be the premier position in football. You know, even with Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, you saw things you never saw before. Now all these wide receivers are boring as hell to watch. None of them are like Jerry Rice. None of them are like Randy Moss. None like Michael Irvin. They ain't got teams like that no more. With these crazy good running backs with wide receivers who are generational. They just got these guys who are just workout warriors. Catch a ball and fall. That's what they do. Catch, fall. You don't see them doing Jerry Rice running after the ball, shaking people. No, they run straight. The entire time, catch the ball, run straight. It's like there's no, like, did y'all ever play pickup football in the backyard, anything, or did y'all just jump out of the womb and start playing Pop Warner football? None of them have any moves. None of them have any skill. It's just 2-yard slant catch, fall. Most of them catch with their body too. But I digress. The point I'm trying to get at. Enough about the NFL. The point I'm trying to get at is that I love the NBA. I love this trade. I love everything about this trade. Please let it go through. I want to see him on the Lakers. I really, really do want to see him on the Lakers because I think he's going to kill. I think they should try to get somebody else. Try to go get a shooter as well. They got, I think, trying to get a guy like, I don't know if Seth Curry's on a 1 or 2 year contract. I think he's an unrestricted free agent. But if you can get a guy like a Seth Curry or a dagger 3-point shooter, let me go look at the free agent list and see if there's anybody out there that they could actually go get. Everybody was saying Chris Paul, but I was like, yeah, he has to be. You have to be retarded to go after that. Yeah, this is a very thin class, free agent class. I'm trying to find somebody who would be a great shooter, but I'm not finding many. I didn't know John Collins was a free agent. You got Boogie. I think Boogie would be a good fit for them. To play alongside Anthony Davis instead of going after Melo. That's who they need to get. Melo, DeMarcus Cousins should be the 2 they pick up. Them 2. I think they pick those two up. Game over. Game set match. You bring in Melo. You can play. You can play Anthony Davis at the 5. Melo at the 4. LeBron at the 3. Caruso at the 2. Westbrook at the 1. Or I'm saying if you want to go with that lineup, you want to go small. If you want to go big, you still go with Drummond. I mean, you can go with Drummond. Cousins can come off the bench. Cousins and AD are cool. LeBron and Carmelo. I think that would be good. I think they should try to go get those two. I think they should go get DeMarcus Cousins and Carmelo Anthony. If Carmelo Anthony doesn't pick up his option, which I think he'd be a damn fool to pick up his option. Dame wants out. So I think he'll be a damn fool to pick up that option. But even if they lose Drummond, matter of fact, if I'm being honest, I would rather them lose Drummond and pick up DeMarcus Cousins. To be honest, I would rather see Drummond gone, DeMarcus Cousins picked up, and then get another guy to back up him, like a like I said, like a what's his name? McGee or Howard, but Howard I think is under contract. So McGee, I would love to see that because I think that they really do have a good chance of actually doing something. If they bring in Carmelo, I think they'll be set. You got a guy who can shoot the 3 at an amazing clip, spread the floor. I mean, you can play LeBron at 2 and Melo at the 3. You know what I'm saying? Davis at the 4. Melo can stretch the floor. You know what I'm saying? And take people off the dribble. Shooting in the mid-range. You can shoot all around. You help Anthony Davis out. And you can put Drummond. I mean, the rebounding would be great. You know what I'm saying? And I think LeBron will bring out the best in Melo defensively. I think he'll do a lot better. I don't know if he would be a starter, but he definitely could be a great role player for them. And as far as a 3-point shooter, like I said, it's the slim pickings, man. I'm trying to see who had the best who was the best 3-point shooters. But yeah, I would go after Carmelo. Who is this guy? Ryan Arcidiacono. He shot 33%, so he definitely ain't the one. Lonzo would be a great fit, but now that they got because he can shoot the 3 at a good clip, but Lonzo, but they signed Russell Westbrook. Lonzo should try to go to Charlotte with his brother. I think he'll be a good fit with his brother. He can move LaMelo over to his more natural position of a 2 guard and let Melo run point, and let Lonzo run point. But once again, LaMelo was also real good at shooting too. So who knows? Avery Bradley's a pretty good shooter too. They can probably pick up and start alongside Westbrook for a defensive anchor. So yeah, I think Avery Bradley would do good. Would be a good pickup for him. Reggie Bullock didn't do so hot with them the last time, so I wouldn't really. But he didn't really get much play time. So right now, that's I'm not really seeing a lot of 3-point shooting guys. At least not any named 3-point shooting guys outside of Reggie Bullock. I mean, you could try to bring him back, but he's felt like he folded under the pressure of playing with LeBron. But then again, like I say, he was hot and cold because what's his name? The coach for the Lakers, I don't remember his name. But he's very inconsistent in his lineup, in his rotation. So a guy will play one game, won't play 5 games later. So that's why, I'm also happy that Kyle Kuzma left. I think Kyle Kuzma was just being mistreated in that offense. I don't know if it was Kyle Kuzma himself or the way they used him, but regardless, he just didn't know. He just looked like a fish out of water. He didn't look like the same Kyle Kuzma from a couple years before. He looked like he just didn't know what he was doing. Because he didn't. I think he probably was getting a lot of grief. So he didn't know when he was supposed to play, when he was supposed to be more reserved. And so I think putting him on a team like the Wizards, I don't know how great that's going to be. As I said before, Bradley Beal is in a position where I don't think he's going to be there. I think they're going to try to use him. Now the draft is gone, so clearly they can't use him for draft picks unless you're talking about a year from now, which won't really help him this year. So he's playing alongside Bradley Beal, and he's not playing in this historic franchise. He's not playing for a championship probably this year. So he'll be able to come along more at his speed. He'll be able to take over scoring duties in certain games because Bradley Beal misses a lot. Also, he has Harold playing along with him, and they brought KCP as well. So they got a good little package for Russell Westbrook. I don't know if you Bradley Beal, you too excited about that package. You got one possible, and a guy who I think is highly overpaid in KCP, and a guy who is an undersized big in Harold, and Kuzma, who will go out and give you 31 game or 41 game, and then turn around and give you 8 on 3 of 12 shooting the next game. So yeah, it's inconsistent. You don't know what you got back, and if you Bradley Beal, you're not excited about that package. So my guess is they're probably going to try to start over, which means they're going to try to use Bradley Beal in some type of trade to try to get players back. If not, draft picks in the future. So he's probably going to end up going. If he does go, he'll go to a team that is probably going to be not that good. So if you trade him, you're not getting much trade value right now because the draft is over, and you have no idea if you trade him for a draft pick, if it's going to lead to anything in the future, because you don't know how good these teams are. And like I said, you can look what happened with the Cavs and that Nets pick. They thought that they had a lottery pick with the Nets, and the Nets ended up making the playoffs, and they ended up being a useless pick. They ended up balling it up in a package to get Rodney Hood and George Hill. Like, they just didn't know what they were doing with it, and so if you the Wizards, you don't want that package. So more than likely, you're probably gonna stick with Bradley Beal, and to me, it's just a bad fit for him. It's just a bad deal for him. The Warriors might be able to, like you said, send Wiseman, but that's once again, you're preparing for the future. You know what I'm saying? If you pick up a guy like Wiseman, talking about Wiseman and Andrew Wiggins, once again, I just don't. That's, to me, if you crazy. I mean, if you want to rebuild, okay, Bradley Beal done gave you some years. You want to do him a favor, so you take a couple draft picks. But the draft is over. So I mean, the Warriors had they 2 picks. So where are you gonna go now? You know what I mean? So regardless, I just wanted to come in and just let you guys know that, because this is amazing. I love basketball. The NBA is so captivating. It's always changing. It's always hitting you with new storylines, and this one is another crazy one. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Thumbs it up if you like it, and if you appreciate my videos, you watch my videos, please subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.